Yo, what up? And welcome back to Grizz 101. We are your favorite post-game show. We're in the off season. We have a lot to talk about. Listen, Nate and I have not been on the show together, and I believe it's been over a week now. And so we're both raring to go, but obviously we have technical difficulties. Very first show this season, in the off season, we'll say. But listen, we have a lot of new things that we want to do and we want to try throughout the entire off season. We want to kind of make sure we tune this thing up the right way just for you all and kind of have a lot of fun. But I see everybody starting to pile in. Go ahead and hit the like button, as King Meek says. This is the chat family. We're back. We're going to be here every Tuesday night at 9:01 p.m. just for you. And we're trying some things out. If you see over here on YouTube, we can see that we have a chat that is up right now. And so go ahead. And if you are on Twitter, thank you. If you're on any kind of social media, thank you. But join us over on YouTube and hit that like button. We want to know who you're more excited about next season. We have John Morant, Gigi Jackson, Vince Williams, or maybe the rookie trade piece that the Grizzlies go off and get this offseason. The nickname is not Chat Family just yet. We're thinking about Grizz Fam because that's what this is. It's the Grizz Fam. So, Kenny, we're thinking about Grizz Fam, but you know what we're not thinking about is our guy, Nate. Nate doesn't even have the camera up. He's probably freaking out, throwing stuff as he always does. But listen, we're going to get into 3 different segments this time. We have a new fun thing. No more Grizz trivia. King Meeks, don't be afraid. It's coming back during the post-game season, during the actual post-game shows. But we actually have another segment. It's called Read My Lips. And so how that's going to play out, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do that in the second segment, but let me explain it a little bit as we get into the show. I am going to be the one who's going to read 3 different nicknames, okay? I'm going to read 3 different nicknames. It's going to be very fun, and I'm going to do this little number. Look at the right. Look at the top right. We have a little countdown clock. That's new. Nobody has seen that just yet, but Nate has to actually guess the nicknames that I am saying, and he has to read my lips. He has 20 seconds. He has 3 different ones that we're going to do. And eventually, we're going to do some giveaways with it. If Nate can get 2 out of 3, or he might pick someone for each answer. And if whatever one he gets, you actually win the prize. But we have so much to talk about. We have a lot of games that are going on right now. We're going to watch them live with you. So go ahead and tune up the game. Tune us up as well. And we're going to watch it as we always do. But looks like Nate's finally ready. So let's go ahead and get the show started. I knew you would do that to me. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Or is that not you messing? That's just life. Oh God. See, we're on repeat just because of you. All right, so what's up, Nate? How you been, man?
About like the Suns. Let's put it that way. About like the Suns. I keep trying to fix this. So I'm just going to keep going off until I can get it fixed. That's what we're going to try and do today.
All right. So Nate is dealing with the camera. So we're not exactly sure what's going on, but Grizz fam, we're gonna go with that for the limited time until we can figure out maybe something different. You keep moving, but we're gonna go with Grizz fam to start us off right now. But as everybody's filing in, we do appreciate you. But go ahead and hit the poll. I want to see what that looks like. I want to see a little bit more of this. What we can try out, different things, and so. What we're hoping to do is everybody's getting in here. We're trying to figure out if we could do that for the Grizz 901 player of the game. I think that's going to be a very good poll for us. We'll do that as everybody files in here and join us over at YouTube. We'll be able to do that. So, all right. So anything you missed out on or anything that we've missed out from you that you want to get off your chest, off the top rope, we still got to go back to it. So, Nate, anything that you want to talk about before we get going through the playoffs?
No, I just want stuff to work how it's supposed to. No, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I've barely watched as many playoff games as I thought I would. And to be honest, the games I have watched, I've been kind of like, meh. Like, there's only been a couple of games, and the vast majority of those happened last night, where I was super plugged into what was happening and super intrigued. I mean, the Murray shot was unbelievable.
Right.
The Knicks Sixers one is hard for me to get fired up about because it never should have happened. Right? It was not supposed to happen like that. That last 2-minute report came back like that's going to help anything, and said that they missed 3 different calls that would have saved the Sixers in like a span of 4 seconds. But the Murray shot was unbelievable. Also the poor Wittle Waco's fans. The poor Wittle Waco's, they lost the free throw battle by 4, and that's the reason they blew a 20-point lead. And LeBron missed a wide open shot at the end. Dude, I get as mad at the refs as anyone. I get pissed at refs. That's well documented. You can go to almost any show that's right after a game and reference it. Dog, you had a 20-point lead and you're complaining about a wide open shot off what probably should have been an offensive foul with 13 seconds left. And you're complaining about a third quarter foul in a game where there's only a 4 free throw differential. The poor Wittle Lakers. They only shoot 600 more free throws than the rest of the NBA per game.
I don't know what this
poor
is.
Wittle Lakers can't win without their free throws. Dude, it would have been nothing other than it just threw an absolute fit after the game about it. And it's like, yeah,
they always throw a fit.
That's why you lost a 20-point lead. Come on. So that was really that's like, I mean, A++ entertainment.
See, all right, this is where I was going. Is that an Asian baby? I wasn't sure because it kind of went a little towards that at one point.
No, it was not. No, it was just
all baby.
No, I was just saying my L's because babies can't say no L's. Did you pull Wittle Wakers? There we go. That's more like it. I guess if Adam Sandler does a baby Asian accent, that's what I was going for. But
God,
no,
they just tried to tackle. Devin Booker just tried to tackle Anthony Edwards.
All right, dude.
Anthony Edwards did not move.
I have been out when that trade first started happening, we were on the show talking about that trade, and I said that big 3 does not move me. It's like the weakest big 3 ever in the era of big 3s.
Yeah.
Even I am dumbfounded at how ass they have looked throughout these games. Like they had a great second quarter tonight. Other than that, they looked like they were lost.
Right.
It looked like an AAU team that was just like thrown together a few weeks ago trying to figure out how to play basketball together.
Yeah.
They look terrible.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to these games real quick. So if you're watching live, thank you as always. Come over here and hang out with us every Tuesday at 9:01. We're going to make sure we're here, live for you. I would say throughout the entire summer, throughout the entire off season, we will eventually take a break at some point after all of basketball is pretty much dead in the dead period. We're going to go ahead and take our break then, as we always do. But let's go ahead and hit a little bit of the playoffs. So right now we have Phoenix and Minnesota. Phoenix is 88 to Minnesota 104. Minnesota has won the first game. There's 2 minutes left in this game. Devin Booker just fouled out. I expect Minnesota to hold on. Does that shock you at all? Does that shock you at all? Because they're obviously in Minnesota, and Minnesota has been playing well. Does it shock you at all that they would possibly Minnesota be up 2-0 on the Suns?
It's not shocking that they're up 2-0. It's a little shocking, like I said, how it's played out and how they've gotten to 2-0, right? Like that's a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
I just am surprised at how lost the Suns have looked.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those where them being 2-0 is not shocking. I probably would have expected. It's a little shocking that the Suns didn't make a better adjustment the second game. But maybe I should have listened to myself more on this. Like I've never bought into the Suns
Probably
team.
Not.
I've always thought they were at least an injury away from being anything we're talking about. They gouged their depth. Thought they did a pretty good job after they gouged their depth of building a pretty decent team, but clearly it's not enough. I mean, it's never looked like a great team all year.
Yeah.
The only times we've seen them is when they played the Grizzlies, and every team looked like they could win the title when they played the Grizzlies for the most part at some point. I'm pretty shocked at the fashion in which they went up 2-0. But no, not super shocked. I mean, that Wolves team is better. The only thing holding them back is, sort of inexperience and Karl Anthony Towns, who continues to just be a weird guy, man.
Do you think just looking through all of this, from what I see, every home team is undefeated so far, and so mostly, so if you're going through this, Cavs at, and the Magic, Cleveland's up 2-0 going back to Orlando. Knicks at 76ers. That's on the 25th in 2 days, so that's on Thursday. Knicks are up 2-0. Nuggets are going to go back to the Lakers. Denver's up 2-0. So all home teams have held serve there. The Bucks and the Pacers are playing right now. T-Wolves just won both of their games at home. And then you're talking about Heat at Celtics. Celtics, there's zero chance they're losing to the Heat. And then Pelicans at Thunder. That's the only competitive game I see. And Bucks and Pacers, they're playing right now, and the Pacers are up. So they would be the only team that possibly could steal a win, other than the Pelicans still a win on the road. But does that shock you at all that every team could possibly hold serve at home for at least the first round so far?
I mean, yeah, that would be really surprising, right? That it's just not something you see typically.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare to see that happen. I'm glad to see Pacers Bucks look like it's going to be more of a series so far through this game. I did not expect the Bucks. I kind of thought we'll see after tonight. If I still think it, the Pacers would win this series without Giannis playing.
Still, wow, okay.
I just didn't think it was super sustainable for Dame to be able to carry that team, and I thought he would have to carry the team, which in game one he did, right? He was vintage Dame in that. But tonight's much more of what I thought it would look like as far as that series was going to go. So I would like to see that. I would also, despite the fact that they dominated, and I mean, fully Shaquille O'Neal style dominated game one, I would be amazed if the Mavs don't come back and make this a really good game tonight. Not necessarily win, but make it a really good game.
You're right.
And then sort of Pels Thunder, I don't know what to expect. That's the other one where you kind of could see the Pels maybe stealing one.
Yeah.
But the Thunder are just so much straightforwardly better than the Pelicans. You're kind of relying on them having like a CJ McCollum, having a Jonas Valanciunas, and having a couple of guys who have sort of been there before, whereas the Thunder don't really have that. But I still I just can't imagine a world where the Pelicans beat the Thunder in that series or really make it super competitive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Without Zion, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. All right, real quick. I'm gonna give out a bet real fast, and then I'm gonna ask you what Drew is saying. So my favorite bet of the night has been throughout the entire day. It has been Kyrie Irving over 4.5 rebounds. It's been at plus money. So if you want to play that, that's the next game that's coming up. If you want to watch along with me, I'm going to possibly sweat it out. I hope not. But if you are in a betting state, if you want to bet Kyrie Irving over 4.5 points, over 4.5 rebounds at plus 105, it's over at DraftKings. The other thing I want to tell about my betting is I am hosting the actual show tomorrow at Driving the Line. So if you're a person who enjoys sports betting, please follow me over there in the morning at 9 a.m. We'll have a show. I'm actually hosting. Coach is actually doing some golf, I believe, is why he's missing. And so that'll be a good time. But I'm on there every Wednesday and Friday. All right, let's get to the CP3 thing. So I love hating on CP3. Any chance he was the reason? Yeah, you're moving around. I'm not sure what's going on. Any chance he was the reason, or really is he good? Kind of a free pass on this one because he wasn't really playing.
All right, well, first off, am I moving frame by frame on your side?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Then I'm just gonna give up on this for tonight. No, I don't think CP3 was the reason. Clearly, I mean, I just don't think they are a complete team. I thought that the year they went up 2-0 and then lost the finals to the Celtics was the last time I thought the Suns looked like a truly competitive full team. I shouldn't say competitive, contending full type team, right? And then once everything with Ayton sort of fell apart there, the whole thing kind of fell apart there, But no, I don't think he was the reason. I don't think he helped very much.
No.
As far as that goes. But I think that, I mean, you look at games like tonight. What's Booker's stat line tonight? He started out really rough again tonight. I haven't really paid attention to his stat line the rest of the night. Let me pull it up. Fouled
Yeah,
out.
I haven't looked at it.
Was it
I would
6 for
assume.
13, 1 for 6?
Yeah,
I mean, they are a Booker shoot, Durant shoot, Beal shoot team. There's no team part of
right,
it, right? It's just, hey,
right.
you get a shot, you get a shot. Every once in a while, someone else will happen to be open or if somebody's cooking. But it's like if one of those guys isn't making shots, they're screwed.
Yeah,
That's what it is. So it's like Booker has to be awesome, Durant has to be awesome, Beal has to be good. It's they don't function like a team. Nothing about it. They don't have a true point guard. They don't really run a true offense. I mean, people complain about the Grizzlies offense. Jesus Christ. Imagine if they were running what the Suns are running. There's no offense to speak of.
yeah.
It's brutal. So I imagine Vogel will be on an unbelievably hot seat after this series, if I had to guess. I mean, that's just pretty well inexcusable when you have that much talent and your starting five has plenty of good players on it and they don't play together at all. I mean, it's pretty rough to watch. So I don't think it's CP3. I think there's a lot more problems in Phoenix than just him.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of these aging superstars age, and that's just to put it blunt. Like I don't think that KD is the KD that he used to be. I think he can be really good in a small sample size. I think he can be excellent, but I also think that he needs a little bit more around him than he used to. He can't just carry the team. I don't think he can lock down people like he even used to. I think these young guys have a really good chance to really show up and show out. So I'm going to ask a question because, and we're going to move on. I want to get to our second segment because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But do you have any team out there other than the Nuggets, going into next season that would scare you as, hey, that's a team that I don't know we can get past as a Grizzlies fully healthy next season?
Depends on the development within like the Wolves, I would say. Like the Wolves, Anthony Edwards, the rise of Anthony Edwards just changes everything there. Cat's clearly was never going to be the guy, right? And it took them forever to finally say Ant's the guy. It was just this year, but they have a really complete team, I think, in Minnesota. I think that next to let's see. Next to the Nuggets, they are, in my opinion, probably the most complete team in the West.
Really?
I would say even they might be more complete than the Nuggets. The only difference is the Nuggets top end and the way they function as a team is just, high tier, just a well-oiled machine, right? The Mavs are one I was going to bring up. They're not a complete team, man. They're yet to build a complete team around Luka, which part of the reason it's hard to do that is because Luka is Luka. That's part of that.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at teams right now, those are the ones. We're still a few years away. I see that comment division is getting pretty scary. Yeah, but every other team is not where the Grizzlies are in terms of development in that. Maybe a couple years down the line, like you get a Wemby and they're able to build around him, which is the Spurs. I anticipate they probably will be able to build around him. Yeah, but right now I'd say pretty much out of these Nuggets and Wolves. But truth be told, the Grizzlies haven't gotten past the second round. Like they have to prove they can beat these teams. Like there's no team I think the Grizzlies can overlook, right? But as far as teams who I would be like, that's looking pretty tough. The Wolves are a team that's kind of built to be able to counteract a lot of the things the Grizzlies do, especially if they don't get a big that can do what Steven Adams can do.
Yeah.
And then the Nuggets are the Nuggets. It's just they're the best until someone proves otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious, man. I think that the Grizzlies have a chance to really be dangerous next year.
Yeah.
But I do think that these other teams are up and coming. And you're talking about OKC, who they don't scare me in a sense. And so I don't want to say they're not good. I just don't think I think we match up with them better than probably other teams. New Orleans doesn't scare me. Denver obviously does. The Wolves, yes, because of their size, and Anthony Edwards is just like a freak athlete. Like he might be one of Michael Jordan's babies, and we didn't know about it. And maybe he didn't either. But I just think he does. We always play the worst against the Mavs, like Drew was saying. But Like I just they don't scare me as much anymore, and they have a lot of questions that are going to have to be answered in the offseason, I believe, for that team overall. So we'll see.
Well, one other team you have to bring up, I think, just out of respect, is the Clippers, who, like we were just saying, awesome. It feels like the Clippers, this is the year they got to do it, right? It feels like they sort of found a little something. They caught a little bit of fire magic a little bit of magic. But it doesn't feel like one of those things is going to last multiple years.
Right.
All those guys are old.
Yeah.
All of them. Kawhi's.
Well, their contracts are coming up.
Well, contracts coming up, but also even if they get them all back, they're just aging, right? It just seems like one of those things where this is really the year they got to put it together. I do think the Wolves with their size are something to worry about. I do think that if the Grizzlies don't find a way to package some of these guys, get them out of there and get some veteran depth, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. Every single one of these teams is more experienced than the Grizzlies right now. Even like after this year, the Wolves included, right? Like, I mean, the only ones who wouldn't be are like the Thunder. That's pretty much it. If you're talking about the West, you got to have veteran depth and experience there for the playoffs. It's got to happen. So this whole youth movement thing, they've got to find a way to get off some of these guys and get more vets in my opinion, even if they're not big time players. Yeah,
no doubt. They definitely do have to do some movement. We're going to talk about a little bit more of the movement that's going to happen for sure in our third segment. Before we get there, before we take our first break, Street Cards of Memphis has been a sponsor of ours, and they're the sponsor of Grizz Fam. They're sponsor of the comment section. I don't know how we're going to do that. We'll figure it out. But if you need any kind of regular maintenance, lifts, lights, wheels, whatever you might need, they can customize them all, but also give them the code Grizz1. They can give you a $55 oil change or a $65 full synthetic oil change. There's a big savings taking place down at Street Cars of Memphis. Go check them out online at 901scm.com or call 901-323-3332. All right, let's go ahead and get into our first break. And when we come back, it's going to be your favorite segment. I promise you, we have yet to do it. I don't know how good you're going to be at it, but I really want to try it. And I think it's going to be fun. So we'll be right back here in 1 minute.
Is it fair to put pressure on one Taylor Jenkins?
I would say no. When you have players that love a coach as much as these players love Taylor Jenkins, then that says something about who he is as a coach and what that means to them. This is a playoff team next year. And if it doesn't look like it's going that way, then more than just a question of with Taylor Jenkins, it has to be a question of why is it not happening?
Yeah. Final verdict, Taylor Jenkins, we on your ass. No, I'm just playing.
I ain't on your ass. I'm not on your ass.
Once again, good coaches find a way, no matter what your situation looks like, to have key moments in the season where you're saying, man, that team played way better than what they're supposed to be doing. And we became that team. Hey, Final verdict, Taylor Jenkins. We fucks with you. Just don't be on the bullshit. Just don't be on the bullshit, Taylor Jenkins.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Yo, that Anthony Sane, wild as always. But I thought that was pretty funny when I had that clip sent to me by Kenny. We had to play it. And one people you want to team up with as well is Pew's Residential Spray. They are the new sponsor for the news segment, Read My Lips. You know, Pew's from flower shops, commercial landscape maintenance. Pew's been around for 30 plus years, servicing the Mid-South. But did you know that Pew's also does residential lawn spray? Pew's Residential Spray can take care of all your weed control and fertilization needs. If you want to create that perfect weed-free lawn, you can call Pew's Residential Spray today for a free estimate, 901-633-2118. Let them know that the Grizz and One Crew sent you. And remember, with Pew's, you get the big company strength, small company values. Somebody else that we hold dearly in our hearts, Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. He's here. He's always here. Make sure you go and support Heaven's Healthy Kitchen. Go over to order hhk.com for all your needs. Heaven's Healthy Kitchen is a grassroots business start right here in Memphis. Chef Smith is a Memphian through and through. He promotes healthy eating and wellness. If you're looking to cook at home, go buy the cookbook, people. Go buy it. It'll make you a little bit more slim around the waist. Go get Chef Smith's cookbook right now off Amazon and download it today. Heaven's Healthy Kitchen continues to do monthly pop-ups. Stay tuned for the next one as we get throughout the summer, through the off season. We're going to hear about that one soon, probably. And then Heaven's Healthy Kitchen at orderhhk.com, servicing and catering plant-based and vegan gourmet foods straight to you. All right, Nate, this is the my favorite segment. I promise you, it might take over everything, the world. It might take over Grizz Trivia. Sorry, King Meeks, but it just might. So I need everybody in the comment section to laugh along with me. You're going to be able to hear my voice because I'm going to say the words as clear as possible. But Nate, you're going to remove the actual sound. And so when I'm playing the actual music, I need you to go ahead and remove everything you got. So let's go ahead and read my lips.
I can't hear anything. I really
don't
can't.
Believe you.
You're talking like this. This is not going to be good.
I want to voice over this. You ready?
Can I turn my audio back on?
Read my lips.
Oh, wait.
You got to let me know when we're starting. I turn my audio back on.
I'm ready. Start. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. First one. I'm going to put the timer up. $20 seconds. Sorry.
I'm so confused.
Sorry, people. I thought I'd turn that off. All right. I'm going to move my microphone back a little bit so he can actually see my stuff. But we're going to go ahead and give it the countdown as soon as I start saying the words. All right. Here's the thumbs up.
Okay. Thumbs up.
The claw. The claw. The claw. The claw. The claw. The claw. Say nothing.
Not a clue. It looked like canard. It kept looking like you said canard over and over and over again. Okay.
Put your headphones on.
Okay.
All right. One guess. Any guesses?
Okay, I'll turn it off one more time. Do it really slow.
Okay. The claw. The claw.
I have no idea. Not even close.
He's playing right now. It's the claw.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. I thought you kept saying canard. I was like, I don't know. I have no idea who you're talking about. That's his real name. Okay. So I also thought we were doing Grizzlies players first. So my fault.
Nope. I'll do a Grizzlies player next.
Okay.
You ready?
Headphones off.
All right. Here we go. White chocolate.
White chocolate.
Chocolate.
That's,
there you go.
Jason Williams.
Look at that. All right.
The greatest
all right.
honky ever.
You got that one. That one's easy. I was trying to say it out there. I was trying to like completely pronounce
white chocolate. That one was actually easy.
All right. This is going to be the third one. Let's see if you can go 2 out of 3. Headphones off.
All right. Any category for me, or are we just going for it?
Surprise.
Okay.
All right. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Oh
Jesus
my
Shuttlesworth.
God. You have it on. I know it. There's no way.
I got that one. Okay. Canard. All right. I got those two. That was good. The long ones, there's like a lot of syllables. That could be helpful too. But yeah, I got a little Jesus Shuttlesworth. Let's go.
You got that one. Jesus Shuttlesworth for sure.
All right.
That was you got 2 out of 3. I'm surprised.
I'll take it.
I think as we do these, it'll be more fun because I don't have to completely act like a complete idiot, and we'll actually know what we're doing. So,
Jesus Shuttlesworth. I couldn't hear it, but I imagine that's what it sounded like.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
I don't know if that was fun for everyone watching. I actually had a good time with that. I was like, first one. Movie.
Listen, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do something that is not Grizzlies related. We've pretty much done the whole show like that so far, but I do want to bring it back to the Grizzlies. And so in the third segment today, I forgot to mention like the first one we had. It was gonna be hot topic, and so sorry,
I forgot to paint my nails. I like Caleb Williams.
All right, so we're gonna skip a commercial. We don't need to start doing the second run of commercials. We're gonna probably just do one. We'll go straight into this. We'll bleed after read my lips, but it'll be rumor and speculation. And so this is all gonna be about what we think and what we might kind of see for the Grizzlies. And so I want to talk about one guy, and that is Isaiah Hartenstein.
Woo!
He is all over Grizz Twitter. He is becoming a fan favorite so far. Your thoughts on getting him, one, having him on the team, but two, being able to actually get him?
Come on, buddy. I don't know if you can actually get him, but I've always sort of said, like, which Knicks center can you get? And so it's like, yeah, I would love to have Hartenstein on this team. I also would love to have Robinson on this team. And, he played awesome the other night, like, no doubt about it. But if they lost that game, I think the conversation is not nearly as big. Like, he had a big play at the last second that probably should have never mattered or happened. That kind of blew that up. But if you go back to the other game they had, let me go back to game 1 against the Sixers, and you bring up this stat line, it's completely flipped. He plays 18 minutes. Mitchell Robinson plays 30 minutes.
Yeah, but what do you think the reason is?
I think it's just one of those where you just kind of go with the matchup and the hot hand, right? I mean, now Embiid obviously was out for a little while in game 1, so that could be a difference maker. But, they played Robinson 30 minutes for a reason, because that was the guy that was making an impact. Yeah. So I think it's more likely Hartenstein's available than Robinson. I don't think it's super likely they keep both. It doesn't make much sense, right? So I don't think it makes sense from like how you want your team built. It doesn't make sense from a money standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to have too much money committed to the same position with guys that clearly are often interchangeable.
Right.
So I don't think it matters, but same thing. Which center do they go with? Okay, let's try and get the other one.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's one of those where regardless of which one it is, it's a win-win. Now, I kind of think Robinson fits better. The only problem is you have to worry about injuries, things like that. But that's coming from a length, rebounding, really being able to hold down the paint, great defensive player. Guy in Robinson, Hartenstein also does a lot of dirty work, also good rebounder, a little bit more of an offensive game than Robinson, but also can facilitate a little bit better than Robinson.
Right. They
both have stuff that they're great at. They both bring a lot to the table that can benefit the Grizzlies. So I think Hartenstein's sort of the name's been floated around because it's assumed Robinson's not going to be available. Right. But if Robinson's available, that's awesome. So
he's already locked under contract, though. That's the only issue with that.
Yeah, he's locked into contract, but I'm not saying you necessarily have to sign him as a free agent. You could go make a trade, get a guy like that, right? So I haven't looked at his contract in a long time. I can't remember what it is, but
I'm looking up right now. So that's the biggest thing I want to see is Hartenstein's a free agent. Mitchell Robinson, dude, next season. I'm sorry. So it already has the next 2 seasons. Dude, next year, $14 million. The year after that, $12 million. Then he's unrestricted in 26, 27. So you'd have him 2 years, 14 and 12.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein, I would assume, gets that.
Yeah. Either way, it's the same thing. Either way, I'm happy with that.
So you're okay either way, whichever guy. If you were to purchase one of those guys.
Yes, I think they both fit the need in different ways. I think they both do the main thing you need, which is rebound and protect the paint. I think they both do that job for you, and then they both bring a little bit extra. Robinson just does that at an absolutely elite level, whereas Hartenstein probably does it at a good level, good enough level to maybe better than that, but also brings a little bit more as an offensive player. So I would be happy either way.
Yeah, I'm curious. All right, so we're 9 minutes to go in the Indiana and the Milwaukee game. 100-88. It is Indiana over Milwaukee, so up by 12 here. Lightning DJ is saying that Kleiman did pretty much say that they're going to add a big man, 100%.
As they should.
I would not expect them to add a big man in the draft, but if they do add a big man in the draft, that is not like, hey, this is going to be a starter. I think they're going to add a big man no matter what in the draft somehow, some way. I would assume whether it is a late pick and they add some big that's just sitting there that maybe fell way too far, or they go ahead and get somebody early. I think they're going to add because it gives them depth. And what's the worst thing that happens is you add a big man and they're like the 12th or 13th guy and they don't fit the rotation. And then you give them another year or two to develop and to, being somebody who once whoever they do get as a vet can be gone here in 2 years. Let's say they do get Mitchell Robinson and he's their big guy. He's obviously been hurt at times, but also he's only going to be here 2 years. I don't see anybody extending here much longer than that because whatever big man does come here, I expect him to be pretty good. And because of that, I don't expect us to be able to afford him because at that point, you're paying all the big three plus whatever other ancillary pieces you brought in. So I'm curious what happens, but I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. But I wouldn't be opposed to getting Andre Drummond, Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, any of those bigs that can start for you if you need them to, but they don't have to close games for you if they're not hot or they're not playing well. One name that got thrown over to me, and I think that you saw it as well. We're in the same group, little chat, but sometimes you don't actually check it out.
Yep.
Jonas Valanciunas.
I did see that. I did see that. No, I don't think so. It's one of those where he makes a lot of sense, and he played really well for this team. It's nothing like against him or what he did while he was here. It's all about fit, and Jonas needs a ball to be really effective and do what he does best. And him doing what he does best does not necessarily mean this team's doing what this team needs to do to be its best. Like, Jonas sort of needs the ball to be effective. He needs to be one of the top options probably with the ball. And he's at least behind Jaren, Ja, Bane, right? Let's now throw into the factor a guy that a lot of people like. And if things go well, I would agree. Gigi Jackson. Right? I think Gigi is going to be a more complete offensive player, possibly at the very beginning of next year, where you want him to have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of stuff you like. He rebounds really well. He's big. He's not afraid to be a bruiser down in the paint. Same time, he is more of like an offensive focal point as a big. It's not something that's a bad thing to have a good offensive player. I think, though, Jonas is not nearly as effective without the ball in his hands. And I think that's a problem.
At what money amount would you say I'm interested? Because he made 23 or whatever, I think, or I can't see his contract from this last season because of Spot Track does it like that. But I would expect him to get at least 15 on a decent team. But if he gets down 12 or less, I'm not scared to take a run for the simple fact he's 32 now, right? So he's aging a little bit more. He has probably 2, maybe 3 years left in him. I wouldn't expect him to be a guy that says, hey, I am a guy who needs the ball. And I know that, Lightning DJ saying, and we've always kind of said that, been there, done that with Jonas. I get it completely. But at a serviceable guy who can rebound like crazy, you literally say, hey, Jaren, just like when we had Adams, take the night off when he's next to you.
The problem is, I think one of the main things you need out of a big is his ability to be like a really lockdown paint defender. And Jonas has never been that. He's big. He's not afraid, to, again, bully in the paint. He's never been known for his paint defense. That's never been his calling card. And I think that's something you really want out of a big next to these guys. I mean, it's not, you could do way worse. Like if they got Jonas, I wouldn't be over the moon about it. I also wouldn't be just down in the dumps about it. I'd be kind of like, it's not the best, but it's serviceable.
Yeah.
And I think you have enough of a team where serviceable could do the job. At the same time, you were just talking about that Mitchell Robinson contract. We're talking about equivalent money. I'd much rather have Mitchell Robinson.
Okay,
Again,
but I mean, I understand that completely. But one guy's been more hurt than the other.
Of course.
Mitch Robinson has not been healthy.
Of course.
And that's the other thing that has to come with that. When you look at Steven Adams, dude was here healthy all the time until he wasn't. And when he wasn't, he just wasn't. Like, it is what it is.
True.
JV was a guy that you could count on almost every single night. And when that, I take account for that, because you're like, hey, I don't need you to do other stuff. I just need you to stay healthy, rebound the ball. We will get the ball down to you in the post when possible. He can also shoot threes more. Maybe he's interested in doing that. Maybe the whole regime has changed since the last time. I don't know. I'm just being the devil's advocate, but I'm also saying, like, hey, it actually, I was against it right away. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, man, it actually does fit if the money's right. It just depends on the money.
It depends on the money, but same thing. It probably would help that if Robinson wasn't in a place where Tibbs playing him 48 minutes per game. So, there's all kinds of stuff that could happen. Jaren was crazy injury prone until he wasn't. It's just one of those things where, yes, you need guys to be healthy. And sure, like, injury factor is a thing. Mitchell Robinson hasn't gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get that guy and have this guy who fits super well because I'm afraid he's not going to be there. I mean, was he hurt this year? Yeah. He's also now playing in the playoffs. So, and at the same time, like, you want to talk about that, John Morant's been hurt at important moments every year when it's mattered, right? It's just one of those things that you got to have good luck. And so you kind of hope you have it. And it's not one of those things where it's like reached, what was the dude's name? Otto Porter Jr. levels of being hurt all the time. Yeah. So I'm all right with it. Also, on just one thing, what you were saying, I would not at all be disappointed if they took Klingon in the draft, but then brought another big in. Like, if they wanted to draft a Klingon and then they wanted to bring in a guy like a Robinson Hartenstein, and that's the guy, but then you have Klingon sort of coming off the bench and then waiting in the wings in a couple of years, I think that's actually a great plan. I would just not want it to be Klingon, period. And then nothing else on top of it. So I'm actually, Sean Coleman talked me into that idea. I like it a lot.
Yeah, if he's come off the bench, I'm down with any of these guys that they want to go get, because they're project guys that you don't need to actually play, but will play, and they'll be fine for, the limited time, their 18-ish minutes a game that they might get. I'm okay with all that, as long as they're not starting. There's no starter in this entire draft. I don't even think it's Sarr that he's a starter day one.
Exactly, day one.
Yeah. Eventually, yes. Throughout the season, you become a second-year player throughout the season, closing in on the playoffs. But day one, there's nobody in this draft that I see. No,
one of them will be Donovan Mitchell. That's how this goes.
Yeah. So there's a lot that I've seen. Sorry, my voice is gone, but there's a lot I've seen kind of speculate. We'll get through all the rumor and speculation as we go through the season and the off season. But I don't see much out there in what the Grizzlies might do. From my understanding, little things that I've heard, I think that they will use the pick this year. I don't think that we're going to see I don't think we're going to actually see any kind of a trade. So take that for what you will. There must be somebody in there that they might like. I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm reading the tea leaves, that it looks like they like people that are in the draft somewhere, somehow. So we're going to find out. So Mother's Day is May 14th, correct? So that's the actual day of the May the 12th. May the 12th is Mother's Day. That night is the actual lottery draw. So just so everybody's aware, if it helps you remember, the lottery draw, May 12th, it's on Mother's Day. So make sure you, one, do something good for your mom. But two, that's the day that we'll find out where the Grizzlies are going to be picking. And then let all the craziness, ensue then for sure. But one more question.
Mm-hmm.
You think Desmond Bane should come off the bench next year?
I knew you were going to do that. And if you didn't, I was going to do it. No, I don't think that. I do want to say, let's give a little credence to the conversation, just to be the gentlemen we're known to be. I do understand the idea of bringing a guy off the bench that can really just light it up, right? And can light up a bench unit and can be a guy that just is unbelievable. We always talk about, like, it's not as much about who starts as it is who closes, right? There's all kinds of things along those lines. Desmond Bane is a top 5 shooting guard in the NBA who fits perfectly next to your dynamic point guard who constantly opens up space. You play him next to him. GG Jackson is a perfect fit for that role. Perfect fit for that role. Now, the issue I have with the conversation is I feel like a lot of people that may want a Desmond Bane off the bench also might yell that we need to start GG Jackson.
No.
That doesn't, like, it's the same exact thought process to me, but GG makes so much more sense to bring off the bench. Desmond Bane lights up starting units. He did that this year as the guy. GG Jackson is yet to show he can do that consistently.
Yeah.
Why not put him off the bench against bench units where he has the utmost opportunity, 1, to get all these shots, 2, he's going to get playing time next to Ja Morant because they're going to stack those minutes, which is going to be great for him. 3, he's going up against guys he can absolutely light up. I mean, look what he was able to do. He was able to figure out how to light up a bunch of these dudes this year.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what he can do next year after he gets to develop and play in Summer League. So I do understand the general idea of having a scorer off the bench and why that could make sense for Bane. It makes no sense with the way this team's built to do that.
No, I agree.
But I do understand the general thought process. Again, I think that's what you do with GG, man. That's what you do with GG.
Yeah, no, I agree. So right here, DJ saying the draft will give us a good idea of what the Grizzlies want to target, like the higher upside or the need. Like, we're going to see the direction of the offseason once they start that first draft pick. We're going to start seeing what's going on. And so we're gonna see. Also, where's Goon at? We don't know. We hope we see Goon again.
Where's Jaren at?
Jaren didn't play tonight, so we don't know. So it could be a burner account. King Meeks. But yeah, listen, I have said it many times. If it was me, you're definitely starting Bane always. If Marcus Smart, if he's still here with the team, I expect him to be. Then I would hope that he was able to come off the bench.
Yeah,
he is
great.
I've never been a big fan of the fit of Smart. If it's me, I'm trying to figure out a way to use him as my trade piece to go get my piece that I need. I'm not trading him just because I want to trade him. That is stupid. But if I can find a way to trade him for a piece that makes this team complete, then that is what I'm looking for. I don't know who it is. I've always said Mikal Bridges. I still think that because I still think that he can do enough of what you really need. But I think the emergence of GG and Vince really helps the decision on moving off of Smart, just because we had some issues this year, and I don't know if he helped in the locker room as much as we think. I don't know that. I'm not on that side. From my understanding, from what I hear, a lot of people respect Derrick Rose, but Derrick Rose is not going to be the only vet in the locker room. There has to be at least 2. So if they're going to figure out they're going to get off of one of our vets, they better bring back another one in some shape or form, because there's no way we're going to do that. But if Smart's here, I want Smart to come off the bench because I think it makes the offense flow. And then I would somehow put a young guy in next to Ja, which would be Vince Williams. That would be my ideal scenario, but who knows? But in no way, shape, or form am I ever bringing in Bane off the bench.
I have no problem with the idea of keeping Marcus Smart or bringing him off the bench. I'm sorry. I just don't like the idea of trading a guy who's wins. I
agree.
I hate it. It's the same thing. I think the Grizzlies need all these guys, as many guys they can get are vets with experience that know how to win. Yeah. Marcus Smart, if he has nothing else to his name, which by the way he does, he is that to a T. So if he needs to come off the bench, that's fine. If you move Marcus Smart, you got to make a bit of a splash with that, right? Like it can't be a move for something lateral. It can't be a lateral move because a lateral move is not going to be just a lateral move. It's a downgrade for the most part.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get a Mikal Bridges. The fit is obviously better. winning matters. Again, I think I may overvalue that, but the dude has won and been a culture setter. He's been that guy, and you need that. I think it's hugely important. And so I am more attached to the idea of like a Marcus Smart than I think a lot of people are. But if they move him and it makes a really big fit, like it makes a lot of sense for what they're doing, big splash, big time fills a need, I can get behind it. Generally speaking, it's the same thing though. You got to replace him with other vets.
Yeah.
Has to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the other thing I will say is I like Marcus Smart. I think he's good. I look at Boston. They didn't miss a beat. I know they got Porzingis.
Dude,
they made Derek White look really good. Derek White was always a good player, but they made Derek White look even better. They made Peyton Pritchard look good. They made a lot of people look good in that offense because of who's surrounding them. It's a very well coached team. The culture is good there. I'm not saying Marcus Smart is not good. I'm not saying that. Don't take that out of context. I'm saying maybe the value of the wins aren't as much on him as it is of the entire team because they've slotted right in Derek White right into that role, and he's been very good in that role. So that's what I got to give credence to that because that's the only thing that makes me think out of both directions and saying, hey, I don't know if that's true.
They also have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and then they have vets like Al Horford, and then they have Derek White, who is a vet, who is a great role player and was a San Antonio Spur. So that adds like 3x to your vet status coming from the Spurs. Right. So it's just not the same as bringing, you got Ja, Bane, Jaren. That's fantastic. Then you got Vince, who's really basically in a sophomore season next year.
Right.
Gigi. Like, it's just not the same.
No, it's not the
same. So
I'm not saying that.
That's why it matters.
I agree with that. I'm also saying like I think that can be overvalued at times because I don't know how really much he can affect because he can't be in his true role. And his true role is, hey, give him the ball, let him do some things, let him play off the ball, let him be a defensive stopper, which is great. The problem is we have a really small point guard that is the franchise next to him. There has to be somebody bigger. That's the only thing I've ever said. His size, I don't love it. Everything about him, everything about his game, I love. He's a little loose to the ball, doesn't knock down threes like I wish he would. But him as a player, him as a winner, like you were talking about, dude, I'm in.
Yeah.
I just don't like the fit. And it's not him personally. It's just that I need some size because Bane's not big either.
I agree with that. He's not a perfect fit by any stretch of the imagination. But again, I may overvalue it. Winning matters to me.
I agree. I'll take it. All right, that'll be it for the show today. It was fun. It was good to be back kind of in the driver's seat and chatting. We're looking at a Indiana Pacers win. They're up 122-106 with a minute and a half to go. They're going to win. So they're going to be the first team to win a game on the road as Nate takes off his shirt. We're not sure exactly what's going on or what's under there. But yeah, there's something there.
My hot Grizz summer.
Dallas and the Clippers are going back and forth right now. If you're watching this on TNT along with us. So make sure you tune into that. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to keep counting all of these Kyrie rebounds. All I need is 5, baby. I think he has 1. Let's do a check real quick. I said that was my play of the day. I gave that out this morning.
I think you did it again before the game started tonight.
Yeah, I did. So
just barely.
So I'm on the wrong game. I was looking. I saw Damian Lillard. I was like, oh, that's not the right spot. All right, let's one more second. Kyrie Irving has 1. All right. All we need is 4 more, baby. 4 more. We'll keep counting them down. But Nate, anything else you got before we get out of here?
Who do you want to win?
Who do
you want to win in the West? Who do you want to win in the East?
Give me Boston and Denver again.
You want it to be Boston, Denver? Or is that who you think will do it?
That's who I think will, and that's who I want. I don't see. There's no other teams that are good enough. If anybody else runs up against one of those two, I think they're going to get beat. The only matchup I see that I don't know who the winner would be has to be Denver and Boston. I think if one of those gets there and the other one's not there, they're winning. That's just
I
me.
think you're right. I think that'll be the most fun final series to watch.
They're
As far
gonna
as like
battle.
likability,
Yeah.
honestly, I do like the Nuggets. They are a likable team. Also, never mind, not gonna say that. But also on the other side, I think it would be hilarious if the Heat won, just because it would be funny. But as far as entertainment value, actually watching the games, I'm with you. I think it's Nuggets, Celtics.
All right, Lakers, do they get swept?
I don't think so. I think they'll win one in LA.
Okay. So if they don't win the third one, you think they'll win the fourth then? If they don't win the third.
So.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
So you don't think they'll bend over like, hey, we're good.
As much as I rightfully so made fun of them at the beginning of the show, they have impressed me. I think they have looked much better than I thought they would so far in the series. You still need a Wittle though.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday night at 9:01. We'll be here. We'll do more shorter shows, but not about 45 minutes to an hour. No more than that unless chat gets popping. But as we always do, we'll see you around in a week. Be nice and tell your friends.